Ladies, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Please be advised that this movie has no nudity.
I'm out.
Come on, Annie. Let's go to the movies.
Yeah. I just have to wee-wee.
And we're back. Just like the Five Musketeers.
What the hell am I looking at?
A country where culture means pornography and slasher films.
If you had these boobs, you'd be obsessed with them too.
Very exciting, big event. Everybody's excited, huh?
We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Bring the family. Bring your friends.
We're Cinemadness podcast.
Yeah.
Spoken word. Wow, that's really loud.
Yeah.
Spoken word. Spoken word.
Spoken word.
I will sing the songs of spoken words. Wow. That's what tonight's going to be.
Oochie goochie ya ya.
Well, on that note, I want to apologize to all of our French listeners right there. Welcome to Cinemadness, the podcast. We are starting our new series, our new 3-part series, celebrating musicals. That's right. We are going to be celebrating musicals. I am Adam, of course, and I am here with Alison.
Hello.
Ooh, that was a beautiful, beautiful singing voice you got there. And we are also gifted with the one and only Roman.
Hello.
That wasn't as good.
Oh, damn it.
Anyway, this is Alison's pick for the series, and she wanted to do musicals, so take it away.
I'm a girl, that's why. Not that all girls like musicals, but...
And not all musicals are for girls.
No, but musicals are always seen as like girly or womany or feminine. Womanly, I said.
You know what I love about this gathering of us is both Adam and I have a pretty deep appreciation for musical theater.
Yeah, we're theater nerds. So
yeah. So we really will just tear this thing up. Let's have some fun. Let's get feminine. Let's do this.
I've never stopped getting feminine.
There's a lot of musicals that are not feminine at all.
No, they're...
So I wanted to do not just musicals, but modern movie musicals.
The 3 M's.
She knew that I was going to do Grease 2. She knew it. Yeah, Grease 2!
That might be coming up in the future.
I figured you would do Grease 2 and he would pick Singin' in the Rain, and it would just be all over from there.
Honestly, I wanted to pick... Repo, but it wasn't on the list. So
it wasn't. I did that on purpose.
Okay.
I purposely kept a couple of ones off because I know of your guys' love for them. Repo, Moulin Rouge. I just didn't want to talk about ones. I wanted to talk about
Reefer Madness.
Yeah. So what?
I would have chosen the Fantastics. To be very honest with you, I don't. If you guys ever get a chance, the movie version with the New Kids on the Block dude. I forget his name.
Joey Fatone.
No, Joey McIntyre.
Donnie McBride.
Joey McIntyre, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Joey McIntyre.
He's a good boy. No, that's one that I would have chosen. But I'm happy with my choice, which we'll get to eventually.
Yes. Well, speaking of that, so I will pull up the list of modern musicals that I gave these two.
Modern musicals. They're musicals that were done in the modern age.
Modern love.
Okay. So as we do with these, we give each other, a list of options or whatever. So we just don't go haywire. But okay. So the options I gave you guys were Chicago, Into the Woods, The Greatest Showman, Cruella, Cats, the new one, La La Land, In the Heights, 9, Burlesque, Les Miserables, Mamma Mia 2, not to be confused with Mamma Mia 1. Mamma Mia 2 is better. Anna and
is that where Arnold Schwarzenegger comes up and says, "Come with me if you want to live"?
No.
Oh, damn it.
Anna and the Apocalypse, Mary Poppins Returns, Across the Universe, Sweeney Todd, Spirited, and Sing Street. 2 of these movies I had never heard of, Sing Street and Anna and the Apocalypse. And I do want to go back and watch them because they looked very interesting. They were newer ones.
Like modern?
No, newer than modern.
Postmodern.
Yes, over the last year or two. And I think they just fell under the radar.
I was tempted to do that. I was tempted to do Spirited just because, I quote that during Christmas time last year. Oh, yes.
You know, I never watched the whole thing.
That was the Ryan Reynolds one, right?
Yeah, it got to be a lot for me, and that's a lot saying for me because why wouldn't I want to watch
forgot
5
about that
hours
movie.
of Ryan Reynolds? But
Good afternoon.
I think I wasn't in the right mindset, so I might watch it again this
Man,
year.
Ryan Reynolds and Christmas, and it
I know.
didn't
Something
mesh
must
with
have been
you.
off. I was having a bad day.
Well, you know what? It sounds like we're going to have a Cinemadness, the podcast cast party, and everyone's invited. We're going to hang out. We're going to watch Spirited. We're going to get verschnickered. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to bless everything. Bless the trees.
Wow, he's gone full Robin Hood.
Ha ha! You take your thingy here.
And you nip the tip.
You know, I already had one last week. Anyways, so what are we doing today? I'm really
Well,
excited.
I've already said what we're doing today.
I know, but
so,
the specific.
No, which one are we doing today?
well, the first one we're going to do is Adam's pick. So, what did
Yay! It was a surprise.
Okay.
you? Okay. What movie did you pick?
I picked, and it was because I never got to see it, and it wasn't.
Tell me if you want to go. Come on.
It wasn't out of any reason whatsoever, except I just never got to watch it, and it was The Greatest Showman, with my birthday twin, Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
Hugh Jackman.
Okay, so The Greatest Showman, 2017. Hugh Jackman, Zac Efron, Zendaya, Michelle Williams, and Rebecca Ferguson, among other people. But those are the main.
I forget Michelle Williams was in that.
Yes.
She's forgettable.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's very forgettable about things.
Yeah.
In a lot of roles, but
I know. She's your
but
favorite.
I digress. Yes. So yes, and I don't know if you knew this, and I didn't know until I looked it up, but Hugh became attached to this project way back in 2009.
Wow.
And worked on getting it going until it came out in 2017. So that's awesome. He's very similar to Ryan Reynolds, where they just give it their all and they just keep pushing until it comes out.
Yeah, this was like a dream project for him.
Yeah. Good for him. He's done a lot of musical theater and a lot of musical movies. He was in the new Oklahoma.
He's currently on Broadway in The Music Man.
Yes, The Music Man. So, Greatest Showman is basically about P.T. Barnum's life in a nutshell.
Yes.
And it focuses...
Very much in a nutshell.
Yes, it focuses on...
It's an interpretation of P.D.
Absolutely. And we'll get into that. But,
Yeah.
It's basically talking about how he rose from nothing to creating the worldwide sensation as we know as the Glorious Circus. I hate the circus.
Even Andy?
Who?
Andy Serkis.
Oh.
My precious.
Yeah, he's the guy from the Monkey movies, so no, I don't like him either.
The Monkey movie.
Isn't he the Planet of the Apes guy? Doesn't he play all the monkey people?
He plays Caesar.
Yeah, no, I don't want anything to do with that guy.
And he's King Kong.
Yeah. And
He's
you know
talented, but
And he's Professor Claw in the Marvel movies.
Well, and the thing about
Andy was an Andor.
okay.
Andy was an Andor.
yes,
Cool.
yes, he was. He was actually really great in
Yes,
Andor.
he was very good in
Yeah.
Grandor.
Yes, Grandor.
Grandor.
I'm just thinking of you shall not pass, Empire. What Grandor? We're just completely having a mesh.
Were you going to say something before that though? Because it looked like you wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, no, I was going to talk about the monkey movie, but they're too busy singing to put anybody down.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's cute. I like that.
That's it. I'm just going to take the last train
like
to
it, I
Clarksville.
like it.
I'm much by the station.
Okay, so the songs were done by Benny Pasek and Justin Paul, who actually worked on all the songs for one of the other movies that we're going to go over later, which I thought that was cool. They're
Speaking
very
of
talented.
speaking of them, Lin-Manuel Miranda can suck it based on these guys right here
Okay.
because they're 10 times better than
I'm not a
anything
huge
he's
fan
ever
of
done.
Lin-Manuel Miranda. I think he's very talented. I guess I'm not a fan of the stuff that he does, just because it's just not my cup of tea. But I do think he's talented.
Of course he's talented. I mean, he's won things.
It's just a lot.
It's just I fell asleep through Encanto.
Encanto was cute.
I didn't say it was a bad movie. I literally fell asleep in the theater.
I'm just not a fan of Hamilton. Hence why that wasn't on the list, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I get Into the Heights if I wanted to do Miranda. Yes,
I knew you weren't going to pick that, so I just threw that in there.
Well, no, I almost did just because I really feel that it should be highlighted. The musical number Paciencia y Fe, Patience and Faith, where it's the old Cuban lady right before, spoiler alert, right before she's about to pass away, and you see her reverting to Cuba She's riding the subway train in New York, and then it turns into subway train in Cuba, and she's talking about Pahensi Fe, and literally, I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it. So it really was very moving to me. But again, guys listening land out there, I'm a son of a Cuban American, so therefore I have a different perspective on that. I thought about it. I did think about it, to serve my Latin roots, my Latin gente out there, but I thought, no, let me do the movie that I want to do.
Was that the one that was directed by Spielberg, or am I thinking the
No,
West Side Story?
West Side
Okay, yeah. So that was just Manuel Miranda that did all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no singing America. There's no singing America.
That's West Side Story.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I know. I'm messing around.
Okay. Okay. So other than that, I mean, this film, yes, we talked about how it's about P.T. Barnum, but the overall concept of the film is, solely about taking risks, following your dreams, and celebrating everyone's uniqueness. That's that's what I took out of this movie. 100%. And I think that a lot of the common denominator in all the movies that we picked are about following your dreams, hands down.
Oh, that's strange. You're right.
Yes. But this one also added the extra ingredient of, making sure everybody understands you're unique, you're individual, you should feel wanted in this world, and acceptance. So
the one problem I had with this movie, and it wasn't really a problem, it was just the way that I know P.T. Barnum was a big showster, a big shyster, by the way. He was. He was. They didn't really highlight that in the movie. They kept saying it, and he kept agreeing to it, but they didn't really show what kind of a trickster he kind of was. He was just more of like the happy entertainer, and it was like it had to be implied that you have to know who P.T. Barnum really was.
He wasn't aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I don't think he had like an actual long-term relationship. I think the female lead and everything around that was
fabricated.
Yeah, sure.
So, which in my head, I'm like, well, that's good. That's just setting the way to my heavens. I thought about the joke on the way here, and oh man. Well, Nazi Germany the musical.
We'll come back to you. Yeah, that
the
was
producers.
Yes. No. I had a different cut on it, but anyways, yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of problems that the critics had with this movie.
Because it was like, oh yeah, I'm a shyster and no one likes me, but I'm still so charming and everything, and
everyone likes me in the film.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
yeah,
everybody loved him,
and everybody fell for his stuff, but they didn't see anything from like the critics' point of view, which was a really great antagonist in the movie.
He is awesome. Yeah. He's from House of Cards. He is a great actor. But they didn't even, I don't know, I felt that they could have gone more into his relationship with them too. He was just kind of, I don't know, he was antagonist, but it was very dry. There weren't a lot of antagonists in this movie.
No, it was almost
it was the city of New York was the antagonist.
Yes.
The antagonist, I thought, was people's disbelief in themselves and their restrictions that they're putting on themselves based on physical or mental or whatever.
Right.
Restraints. I think that was more... This was basically the Disney version of P.T. Barnum.
Absolutely.
Like, how we have a Disney version of Pocahontas. Not even close to the truth. Yeah, that's... actually, come to think about it, this is... Disney Presents.
It is. It's very sweet, sugar-coated, and that's what the critics had a problem with it.
But it was well done because it wasn't Disney, it was 20th Century Fox.
Yes. But all in all, like, I love the set design, I love the numbers, I love
oh my God, the
dancing.
Choreography was amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Fantastic.
Even Zendaya's little sky dance thing was unbelievable.
Yeah, like everything about it, it's just wowed.
But even the big numbers, they looked like music video choreography. It was so bombastic, you didn't want to not enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what they did is they took they took a movie set in olden times where they could have made it old, right? They could have had it like kind of like out of date choreography and songs, and they made it modern.
They did.
So
Every dance number was superb.
And that's why I think it was so commercially successful. I remember seeing it in the theaters, and then they had all these like sing-along ones that you could go to and see afterwards. Like it was just a huge commercial success.
Well, they were very smart because they had Zac Efron, so it brought in the youth,
the High School Musical people.
And then you had Hugh Jackman, of course. He is beloved on the Broadway stage, and also he's beloved from his work on Les Mis.
Right.
And then you, of course, have the teen bopper crowd with Zendaya. So it really was a perfect melding of that world, and it was very well produced and very well put together.
Yep.
And you also had the crowd who, the dog boy crowd.
Oh, yeah. I can't. Yeah, they were, man, you know what? Swifties ain't got nothing on dog boy.
So there are two quotes in this movie that I thought were just absolutely wonderful. One being my hatred for critics. A theater critic who can't find joy in the theater. That's one of my favorite things, because that critic, he hated every single thing that he saw, and that's how I view critics. They always look for the worst in everything that they do, or everything that they see, and they try to use that superiority to make them feel better.
I'm sorry, because I'm a kid of the 90s. When you keep on saying critic, I'm seeing John Lovitz.
That stinks! Buy my book! and my other favorite quote, which I'm going to start using because I'm starting to take more chances in life, is comfort, the enemy of progress. Yeah. I really like that quote.
Okay.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and if you stay comfortable, you're never going to move forward.
Nope.
If you don't take any risks, you're never going to move forward.
Oh, yeah. I was watching Rob Gronkowski jump out of an airplane. Now, he wasn't singing a musical in this one, so this is going to be a tough transition, but he refused to jump out at first. He was like a cat being bathed, and then he finally let go, and he jumped out, and it was hilarious.
Really, of all people?
Who's Rob Gronkowski?
Rob Gronkowski.
From the Patriots, the funny, he's hilarious. Tight end that was playing with Brady. You'd know who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the guy everyone calls Gronk?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sports, ladies and gentlemen.
He had a problem jumping out of a plane?
Yes, he did.
Huh.
But you know what? There is no one that had a problem trolling in the air like Zendaya. She was outstanding. I thought that was great.
It's a good segue. That was good.
Yep. Well, I brought us to that, so I feel personally responsible. Literally, as I'm like, oh, geez.
Risks. We'll talk about football guy and Zendaya. That's it. We got it.
Yes. Ha ha. Hi.
Good old Zendaya.
I got a question for you. Better answer now.
It's hard for me to watch Zendaya in roles prior to what she's done since, and all her awards that she's won, and how much she's grown, because Adam sees this and he's like, Zendaya was just wonderful.
She was magnificent in this
She
movie.
was. However, she still holds back to me. She was still that sugar-coated, and it's the character. It was just her character.
It's a character.
So I get that.
Because her role in that
Euphoria?
Yes. Like she's bah. Jeez.
She's bah.
She's Bob.
So should I watch Euphoria?
No. You would hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's strange for you to say.
I mean,
okay, watch it.
No, I mean it's strange for you to
It's not
recommend something.
It's not a show I would recommend to anybody, so you'd have to kind of watch it on your own. I feel that you are in a mindset where I don't think you would want to watch teenagers and how they are nowadays.
It's basically, you remember Kids?
Yes.
It's 100 times worse than Kids.
Okay. Well, help me understand the youth.
No.
Okay.
No.
The only reason
make it worse.
No, the only reason I'm watching is because I'm going to have a teenager here soon, and I want to know what he's doing and doing.
Well,
and doing.
apparently lots of drugs.
Your kid's just a year older than my
yeah,
kid.
That's one of the reasons why you're watching the show too. I mean, it's a damn good show, but it's.
I only watch it because it's on when I'm going through my living room and my wife is watching it, and I remember going, "Hey, it's Mary Jane." Yeah, honey, you're not going to like this because Mary Jane does some dirty right now. Like, oh yeah, yep,
it's just very explicit. It's very hard to watch. So, but she pushes her boundaries, and so it's hard for me to go back and watch cute Zendaya as this and as Mary Jane and stuff like that. But she is good. I can't picture anybody else in this role but her.
Yeah,
unlike Michelle Williams.
But
it wasn't Mary Jane. It was.
But
a
her
different
as
name.
an artist,
What was she?
Yeah, it was MJ, but it was different. It was a different MJ.
Okay, but you know who I'm talking about, and so does the listener.
Maybe they don't.
Along came Mary. No.
I mean, I could go on a whole thing about Dune right now.
Why?
Because of Zendaya.
Yeah, but she's not even that good in Dune either. She's good.
She's not there yet.
But
I mean, she's technically not there yet.
She was there for a little bit. So yeah, I hope she has more in the next one.
No.
Dune Host.
Yes.
The song. We can talk about the songs.
Let's.
Actually, let me go backwards. You guys are dumb. I'm just saying. So
we are.
No, I'll just talk about this in the next one, I guess. I want to talk about. Okay, I'll start now, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so I mentioned in the beginning that musicals are always seemed more of a woman thing, like a feminine, or guys like, well, I don't want to go to a musical. That's lame, or that's girl stuff, or whatever. So there's two different types of people that love musicals and people that absolutely despise them. There's not a lot of people that are in between, right?
Yeah, there's no indifferent musical fans.
So a lot of the people that I know that do not like musicals, the number one excuse for that when I ask is it's very unrealistic. People just don't walk around the street, going down the street, and just stop shopping and just burst out in song and dance.
They clearly have never hung out with me.
I was just going to say that.
Oh, man.
So,
and I do sing to myself a lot, too.
Oh,
but it's different.
Goodness.
We all sing to ourselves.
Yeah, we don't have like choreographed numbers that go on. I mean, not all the time.
I personally blame my singing on living on army bases and pretty much every morning go, I
mean, I guess that's kind of a musical, but you're not getting everybody else to sing and dance with you and stuff. So it made sense when people said that to me, but why don't people, is there such a disconnect between people and musicals? Because I guarantee you a lot of people, if we told them right now, like, oh, the next 3 episodes are about musicals, half the people would be like, oh, no thanks, unless they just want to hear us talk funny or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it is a very
divisive subject matter.
Thanks.
Polarizing?
Yes, it's very polarizing.
Is it polarizing?
I was trying to help you out.
But it's also a very niche fandom too. Mm-hmm. You have to actually like musicals. Like, I didn't like musicals until I got older.
Oh man.
Like not like older, like maybe in my teens. My 6th grade teacher made us listen to musicals. And I got into it. I really got into it. And
your 6th grade teacher was my 6th grade teacher. You talking about Mr. Mast?
I am talking about Mr.
See, we didn't listen to a lot of musicals. We listened to more classical music.
Yeah, kids, Mr. Mast doesn't like that, okay?
We listened to classical music.
We listened to classical, but he also introduced us to Cats.
Yeah, which is a lot of classical music, so I see why. But yeah.
And I used to bring in movie scores and he used to play them.
Ooh.
Cool.
Ooh. I think my gateway drug was Disney musicals as a kid. So I grew up.
Song of the South.
Actually, yes. Sadly, I woke up and my mom.
There's no more fun song than Zippity Doo Dah.
Yeah. Well, my mom would wake me up to that because my mom, for those of you at Listen Lynn don't know, my mom's
Uncle Remus.
My mom's a worse version of me in terms of if you think I'm highly energetic my mom, I'm a toned down version of my mom, but she would wake me up with songs, she'd go zippity doo dah, zippity day. Yeah, that's my mama. So she got me
that's
into
my
that.
mama.
Yeah, and like Dumbo, I've never seen an elephant fly. And things like that. We can go down the road.
I mean, almost every old Disney movie is a musical. So every 100%. Disney movie had a music song in it.
Oh, yeah,
so.
Absolutely. So that led me there. And then my first favorite musical, like independent of like an animated show, was Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
I saw that at the age of 4. I just loved the cover of it. I was with my uncle, and he was watching me and my older brother, and he goes, hey, go pick out a movie. And my brother picked out, I don't know, he was 8 years old, so Predator or whatever it was. And And
Gotta bring Predator into everything, don't
well,
you?
it's hey, you get Aliens, I got Predator, man. But anyways, he gave me an opportunity. I picked up Little Shop of Horrors, and I just loved it.
That's funny. I didn't really realize Little Shop of Horrors was a musical until later in my life because it was just such an entertaining movie. I remember that was the first VHS I ever rented.
I was scared of dentists, though.
Well, you're supposed to be.
When I was just a young little kid.
So that was your first musical you remember seeing. What was yours?
The first musical I remember seeing was probably the Muppet movie.
Oh, okay. God. You're out for my... You just want me to, like...
No going into Muppets right now.
Okay.
That was not an open invitation to talk Muppet talk.
Okay, sorry. Allison, what was your first musical?
Sound of Music, hands down.
Okay.
It was played every Easter on the TV.
On the TV.
So every time it was flipping the channel, I would see bits and pieces of this movie. Obviously, at the age of, 6, I don't understand Nazi Germany and all that, but I see the puppet scene. I'm enthralled. I see
Switzerland.
I see Louisel dancing around through a gazebo, which I would redo in my room every night. I would see them, going up and down Austria and matching outfits, singing Do Re Mi. It was just it like enthralled me. That movie still holds. It's just wonderful, and I don't know. And so then I eventually watched the whole thing, and I was like, this is a really heavy, long movie.
Oh yeah,
I've been there.
I know you took the tour.
To a heavy, long movie,
and I did the Sound of Music spinny thing on an Alp.
Oompa, 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 oompa.
And then I went to see an Oompa band apparently.
Ricola.
How did I know that was coming? How did I know that was coming?
Pretty much, I only know 3 things about the Alps.
I was forced to watch Sound of Music.
Okay,
and I think that's why I don't like it, because I didn't get to watch it on my own accord.
Well, I'm interested because you were forced to watch Sound of Music, and you also mentioned with the feature that we're talking about today, of course, the Greatest Showman.
Yes.
You didn't watch it. This was actually your first time seeing it.
Yes.
What? Why did you miss the train?
Like I said before, it was one of those it was one of those movies that I just didn't see. It just passed by, and
I just forgot about it.
Yeah, and I just forgot about it. There was never like any ill intent or anything about it. I really wanted to see it. I remember when it was coming out, I really wanted to see it, and it was just one of those that I never got to. And that's becoming more of a trend with me lately, and it's kind of making me sad that I'm not seeing as much newer stuff that I want to see, because I'm really paying more attention to rewatching the stuff from 1982. I know you guys are so sick of hearing about that, but I am still gearing up for the documentary.
Hey, it's my birth year. I'm good.
And that means I have to watch 75 movies and really know them. So watching newer movies is really hard for me.
Okay.
And so that I just didn't get a chance to see it.
All right.
Sound of Music, I was forced to watch it by who was our choir teacher? Mrs. Kinsey.
Oh, I loved her.
I did too, but I didn't want to watch that movie. And when you don't want to watch a movie, you're not going to like it as a kid, no matter what.
Yeah.
So, Allison, did you see The Greatest Showman in the theaters?
Yes.
What was your experience?
In multiple theaters?
Yes, I saw it in the theater.
Oh, the theater.
That's right.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
And then
did you have box seats at the theater?
I did. Yes.
Oh, man.
And then I watched it again when I got Disney Plus, and then recently was the last time I watched it. And this time I was like, this movie seemed really fast. I don't remember it being so. It's not a long movie at all.
No, it's a very short movie
compared to the other 2 movies we're going to talk about. And most musicals, there's a lot of musicals that are long, drawn out musicals. But I was like, oh, this is just a nice,
really
fun,
tight.
flick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking about music and awards for this one, because I want to go into the song, they were nominated for Best Achievement in Music Written for Motion Picture. So they were nominated for Original Song for This Is Me, but they didn't win anything. They didn't win any awards for this movie. So I think that might be another reason.
Phil Collins come out of retirement again? Did he do that?
Phil Collins did Tarzan.
I know.
but he won an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of, Blame Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I never watched Tarzan, so I can't It's not my thing. I didn't care.
You're looking at me like I watch Disney movies.
No. I know you hate Disney movies. I'm just looking out. It's just one of those few Disney movies where I have no connection. I don't even want to give it a chance. And I'm sure it's a nice movie. However, I like the Tarzan songs that he did. Do I think that he deserves it? Apparently not. If you guys think Blame Canada did, that's fine. I didn't know he was up against them. Sorry. I love Mr. Phil.
I saw this great meme.
No, he's great.
I saw this great meme yesterday. It was a picture of Tarzan from Tarzan. Mm-hmm. And it said, grew up in the jungle. Why doesn't he have a beard?
Have you met his girlfriend? He has a beard.
That was Rosie Perez? No, Rosie O'Donnell.
What?
Wasn't Rosie O'Donnell the female gorilla in that movie?
I think.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Again, I didn't watch it.
I guess. Did she play third base in
For
the
some
Jungle
reason, I was
baseball
picturing
team?
her in a movie, like a real life Tarzan. I'm like, wait, no, we're talking
Real
about
life Tarzan.
Because I think I was going as George. I was thinking of George of the Jungle. I don't know.
Oh, watch out for that tree.
We're all over the base
Yeah,
because...
no.
Welcome back to Renaissance.
Holy crap.
Well, no, you mentioned Rosie O'Donnell, and I'm thinking Escape from Eden, the movie with Dan Aykroyd. Where,
Oh yeah.
Exit to Eden.
Exit to Eden.
That too, the
Yeah,
sequel.
No, gross.
The prequel.
Okay.
Yeah, the weird sex island.
Yes.
When you think Sex Island, you think Rosie O'Donnell
exactly.
and Dan Aykroyd.
Exactly.
Dan Aykroyd and Rosie O'Donnell bring the sex.
Okay, so speaking of the songs, so I just mentioned "This Is Me," which is the most well-known song that came out. I mean, it was all over every. What are you singing? Okay, well that wasn't the song.
Was that the Bearded Ladies
Yes.
song? Okay, that
Yes.
was good. Yeah.
Yes. So that was the song that was all over the trailers. It would always end up with her being like, "This is me." So you went in recognizing that song. You might have also recognized the opening song. This is the greatest show. Such a good show. When he opens up with his cane and the people are doing that on the bleachers, like it just sucks you in. It's just great.
Yeah.
So that was the only one that was nominated.
Oh, man.
You know what my favorite one was? The Other Side.
Okay.
I love that song. Just for the dance alone and the bartender.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It was I love banter songs where two people going back and forth with each other, and it's just my favorite thing.
It was good.
Oh, man.
And I love Zac Efron.
Well, it's
I
funny you
unabashedly love him.
It's funny that you brought up the opening song because I didn't really have any interest in watching it, the film, but I watched Masked Singer, and of course the guy who played Peacock, Cassidy. No, not Cassidy. Yeah, Cassidy.
David Cassidy?
Yeah, he played Peacock.
I
But
don't remember.
yeah, but anyway, so he opens up. That was the first song they had, and I'm like, oh, what's
Oh,
this?
yeah. I remember that now. Yeah.
And he that cool. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, dum, da, 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 dum.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
So,
that's the Greatest
I'm
Showman
like,
song.
man,
Yeah. And that's what made you watch it?
Yeah, I'm like, what song? Like literally, like I rewound because nowadays we got everything DVR. I rewound it, I recorded it on my phone, and that was basically my hacked version of the song. And I'm like, yeah, this is jamming. What is it? And then eventually,
What is it?
And the choreography also for A Million Dreams.
Oh,
was
yeah.
just beautiful.
Oh, well, just that whole like, oh man, just everything about this film is just such. Well, all the films that we're going to talk about, everything about every scene is pretty much just a painting. It really is just an absolute gorgeous shot, cinematography at its best. Just really a great culmination of all the different departments just getting it right.
Just getting it in there.
Yep. Yeah, just get in there real quick, lock the door, tell the kid to watch TV because we're getting in there.
Although riding an elephant through New York was a little too much for me.
No? Was that...
He had to give that grand gesture.
Right, I understand. And you would do that in a musical anyway.
Absolutely.
I mean, if he takes it in Coney Island, that elephant's gone.
The other song that was really powerful was the one that Jenny Lynn, played by Rebecca Ferguson, did in her opera. Oh my gosh.
Oh my, I cry.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
man.
such a good song, and she's a really good singer.
Oh, man.
That was another thing I really liked about the movie, that they didn't show him as a real scumbag. That he was a family man through and through. Like even when she came after him.
Oh no, I'm not going to be tempted.
No, yeah. I don't care if it's true or not. I just really like the idea that they didn't use that as a type of conflict.
Yes. Yeah. They had he and Michelle Williams' character had enough other little things going on that they didn't need that. So yes, I don't even remember her. What was her name?
Michelle Williams' character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, we don't even care. I mean, we do, but we don't. I mean, whatever. But Michelle. Okay, so songs. Should musicals have music and original songs that are more of a high standard?
I don't fully understand the question.
Oh, so you're thinking songs written just for that musical should they be highly regarded instead of, say, Across the Universe?
Yes.
No. Song's a song.
No, yeah, I agree because it's
the delivery,
a platform. You know, I mean, Moulin Rouge is loved because it's basically just your iPad or your shuffle back in the day
with a hint of mashups.
Fair. Yeah. But you're saying that, okay, so you're basically saying if the music and the songs aren't good, the movie is nothing. The story isn't as important.
What? That's not what I said at all.
I'm saying, you just said, go back to what you said. You said a song is a song.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, a song is a song, and it depends on the delivery. And the just the way it's taken in.
To me, it goes back to my brief summary where I said all three of the films were a great culmination of all departments working together in whole. To me, good music is awesome, but if you don't have a good story to help coat that through, you're going to have a little bit dysfunction. Like, for example, if you ever see the stage play Moving Out, which is
Billy Joel,
it's just basically a guy sitting in the piano singing Billy Joel songs while there's interpretive dance going on, which is still beautiful, but there's not much of a story. You're really just watching basically a concert with these dramatic dancers.
Right, but that's not based on the music.
No, it's inspired. Like, for example,
No, what I'm saying is you're getting that disappointment not from the music, you're getting it from the experience itself.
I'm getting it from in terms of the story because I went to Moving Out because I love Billy Joel and I love his music.
Who doesn't?
The stage performance wasn't bad. It was very interesting. It was like watching a live music video before my eyes. But it's in terms of the story, it was not enduring.
Right.
If you were to tell me what the story is of Moving Out, I would say, well, it's basically Anthony. He worked at a grocery store, saving his pennies for someday, and then he went to Vietnam, and then he came back and he had issues, and we didn't start the fire. There you go. Boom.
Right. And on the opposite of that, we have Rocket Man, who's nothing but Elton John songs, and it's in my opinion a nearly flawless movie.
Yeah, and it's straight up a musical.
And it's not original songs; it's all Elton John songs.
Yeah,
but it should have won all the awards.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm trying to say. A song is it doesn't have to have original songs to make an impactful musical.
Does it have to have songs that are sing-along worthy? Does a musical have to have enough where you walk away with a catchy tune in your hand where you can sing along to be successful in your mind?
I think to endure throughout time and to be truly
fair enough.
Yeah.
Really embraced, because one of the films that we're going to talk about, that's going to be a problem that I have.
Okay.
To foreshadow, so tune into one of the episodes, see if I can piece it together.
So I guess what I'm saying was because I didn't want to do just any musical, and I was thinking more modern because of the music aspect, right?
Yeah.
Because people are more creative now in this day and age with the songs, the lyrics, the melodies, how it relates to the storyline. Because I feel like if I'm watching a musical, they're cohesive. They have to work together for me. I can't have just really good upbeat songs and the story doesn't match well with that, because then I'm not going to be a fan of the musical. And I'm trying to think of one. Like, can you think of a musical that fell flat in your mind because of the song, because of the music? It might have been, they might have given it their all as far as acting, but the music was just like, meh. Can you think of any? maybe on some of the lists that I get.
Earth Girls are easy.
It's not a musical.
It has musical numbers.
It does have musical numbers.
I'm just trying to think of something where
I just wanted to contradict you.
He finally admits it, folks. After 4 years, he finally admits that.
I mean,
Thank you.
I guess you could take you. We didn't see the new Cats, but you did, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
I'm
you
still
were
waiting for the butthole cut.
But we're all. But we're all familiar with Cats,
Right.
Okay, I've seen it on Broadway. I've seen it like a million times.
Yeah.
If I were to watch the new Cats movie, knowing that I know every one of those songs, if the acting was garbage, I would think that was a failure to me, just because they've done those songs right in other instances. If that makes sense.
I've got one.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I did not like the acting, the performance, or the singing in Tim Burton's Sweeney Todd.
I was just about to bring that up. Sweeney Todd is a good example.
I left the theater just blank, just like, all right,
So-
I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we're getting the skeletons out of the closet, Repo. I did not like the actual music in Repo.
Oh God,
I love the story of Repo.
But you didn't like the songs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which is
that's
funny because
strange because it's very catchy. The songs are very catchy.
Some of the Sweeney Todd songs are catchy, and they didn't fit well with me. They just didn't.
I liked the stage performance of Sweeney Todd. I was introduced to that at a very early time period because my music theater teacher, she knew that I liked horror movies. She goes, "Have you ever heard of a horror musical?" I'm like, "What? There is no such thing." And she goes, "Sweeney and Todd." Almost verbatim. That's what she said. She's awesome. But yeah, so she showed me the VHS grainy footage, and I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. Yes, Yusa, come here. So it was just awesome. It was an opera. It was great. Speaking of opera, fan of the opera. That's also a horror movie, but the music is Andrew Lloyd Webber, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
Right. But the storyline is just meh to me. Me.
What of
Phantom of the Opera?
Phantom of the Opera.
It's not one that I want to watch over and over again.
I mean, the story is.
The sequel's worse.
Oh, I'm sure.
It really is. Love Never Dies.
Oh well,
That's a terrible, terrible musical.
is it worse than Staying Alive?
But like,
I love Staying Alive.
I think that's one of the reasons of my despise for Grease 2. And I'm sorry. It's the music.
Good night, folks.
Oh, Jesus. It's some of the music is catchy. It's the story that I check out. I don't like the story. The story and the music together don't make a cohesive thing for me. And so the whole movie is just dead to me for that.
Grease is the turd.
I am going to save that for when we eventually talk about that, because there's an interesting backstory to it, because it was originally intended to be this all-star cast. Cher was supposed to be in it, and they were supposed to have really A-listers at that time period to really launch that, and they couldn't get that. So the question I have to beg or pose to you is, do you think you may have not liked Grease 2 is because it's not as iconic in terms of John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John? It does have Michelle Pfeiffer, but can you tell me anybody else in the cast?
No, I can't, because I've only watched it maybe 1.5 times. But here's the thing. I've been watching Grease since I was 5 years old. I didn't know who John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John were, so it didn't matter who was in that movie.
Okay.
I wasn't watching it for stars. I didn't know who those people were. I thought they were 50-year-old people acting like high schoolers.
Well, Kaneki was. Yeah.
Well, so was Stockard Channing.
Oh my God.
I'm just
Kaneki
saying,
basically looked like Edward James Olmos.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I don't know. I'm just like watching certain movies, and we'll talk about that when we get to the other two. The music just sets it over the top for me, but then they also have really good. The story goes perfectly with the music, but I think there's other musicals where it almost seems like they're just throwing in a song. Like, we have to have 10 songs, so you better throw in a song here and throw in a song here. Like, it has to work well.
That's how I felt about one of the other movies we're going to talk about.
Okay. We picked some good movies. We're gonna have discussions. Okay, well,
I think he's probably talking about the reverse. I'm going to. Bring
I know.
Up that
no,
point.
I know.
Yeah.
You guys both are talking about two different movies. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure. Let's talk about the critics.
Well, now I know.
I was interested in why this was not a critical success. It was a commercial success, but the critics didn't like it compared to some of the other movies that have come out around that time. And after critics, obviously critics love or hate, movies in general, but you got to be like a really powerful musical to get the critics to like it. They usually annihilate musicals.
I was very surprised to hear that.
To hear what?
That critics
the critics
are very, very critical.
They're critical of this, so I'll let you know. I'll tell you what I found out. So critics did not like the story, that the story, one, was watered down regarding P.T. Barnum. His serious story had the stark parts removed. Okay, I don't think that that's a fault.
No.
I think that you were trying to show the positive side. If you want to show a dark side of somebody, go ahead and make a separate movie. But when people think of the circus and Barnum and Bailey, you don't think of anything that's bad. So why would you throw in a bad thing to tarnish this man?
Right. And you don't go into a movie called The Greatest Showman looking for the dark side of P.T. Barnum.
So if I can get us within the boundaries of the subject, slightly off, I was reflecting on that as I was driving here to Pandemonium Studios.
Reflecting on what?
The story of Greatest Showman.
Okay.
And because that's one of my biggest gripes is it's not historically accurate.
Okay.
And I remember thinking of maybe lampooning and saying, okay, what really horrible people can we make musicals and make them really nice, so on and so forth.
P.T. Barnum was not a really horrible person.
He was a ruthless business person.
Right.
To say the least.
So was Stan Lee, but everybody sings his praises.
Abused the talent. So that's so
and
my
again, Stan Lee never paid his artists.
Yes, I'm well aware of that, but no. So my point to this is with P.T. Barnum, what would have made it very interesting if you actually would have made him the villain, but focused on the talent being and rising above that. And even though they were brought together in negative terms, which that would be more historically accurate, they rose above and had unity. And they made the most of the situation. And they were more than just freaks and things to that accordance, which were publicized by P.T. Barnum. And this was my thought on it. Now, again, that's why I watered down and say it's basically a Disney version of it. I enjoyed it for what it is. Let me be very clear and abundantly clear.
Pause. Let me go back to what you said, because I see what you're saying. But that's a perfect example of if you wanted to do that and focus on he was ruthless and he made bad decisions money-wise and you have all these quote-unquote freaks and unique people and how they rose above the hate and making fun of and all that. That, to me, doesn't sound like a musical. That just sounds like a drama mixed with a little bit of autobiography. So you're not going to make a musical, and that's a good point. I don't know how many musicals there are that are all like down in the dumps bad stories, right?
Les Mis.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Les Mis, Miss Saigon. Okay, but
the movie, it's literally named The Miserable Ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
One out of whatever. But you're going into okay, you could probably think of more, but do you get what I'm saying?
I get it. I get it. That's why I'm not trying to throw it. I'm not trying to throw it.
I would be fine with watching a movie on that to learn more about P.T. Barnum and the dark circus or whatever, but they were out to make a happy, the Greatest Showman, a happy musical. They were like, we want to make a musical, so we have to make it happy. So I get what you're saying. Now you sound like the critics.
Well, yeah, it stinks. Buy my book. No, but for what it is,
you're making him basically though, like you're making him out to be like this really awful person who all he was a very shrewd businessman who fooled people, who
he was
bad with money.
He was a shrewd businessman.
And of course
faked it till he made it. Yeah, he was a product of
this
his
whole
time.
movie was basically Fake It Till You Make It.
Yeah.
The movie.
And that's what I concede that point is it's a watered down version of it, and I get it. It's just, to me, because you know how much I love history. I absolutely love history. So therefore, it's just one of those things where it's like, so like I was thinking, like,
but you like movies. You have
I do.
Suspension of disbelief has to be in that brain somewhere.
George Steinbrenner, the movie coming out in 25 years is going to be great. Hey,
I have no idea what that means.
Okay, so. He was known to be very ruthless at times in the owner's box.
Did you watch any of the Apple movies? There was 2 Apple movies made about Steve Jobs. Did you watch any of them?
No.
I watched the one with Ashton Kutcher.
You didn't watch the other one?
No, with I meant to. I honestly thought
Michael Fassbender?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to watch that one. I picked the wrong one.
Okay.
Were they musicals?
No.
No.
I watched both. However, I get what you're saying because you're getting upset that the movies that are supposed to be autobiographical are not as factual as you would like them to be because you're a history buff. I felt the same way about the stupid Apple movies because I was like, you're glossing over a lot of stuff that is not factual at all just to make it frivolous for the movie. But
did they not talk about how he didn't want his daughter? Oh, wow.
And look,
I'm one of them.
I have the same slight, to be very transparent there, listening, Lance, I have the same gripes with Hamilton, where it's like, I mean, basic facts. They forgot one of the daughters. They forgot a son there.
But apparently it wasn't enough to make people have a problem with it because
critics ate the shit out of that one up.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves Hamilton. Good for them.
Which is funny because critics, I mean, you could go the same route with Hamilton, but Hamilton was adored. Thank you.
And I have that in my notes. Critics did have the same problem with Hamilton as they did with Greatest Showman. Yeah. They sugarcoated how Hamilton really was in real life.
Yes.
They just loved Lin-Manuel Miranda, but they had the same problem as they did with this movie. They didn't like that, and they also...
I forgot critics have no sense of whimsy.
But now you're siding with... You're saying you don't like Hamilton...
No, what I'm saying is that apparently it's Hamilton's really good. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Have you watched it?
Yes,
because you like history.
When it was on Disney Plus, I watched it. It's just not my thing. I don't like his style.
Okay.
But I can understand
the reggaeton type rap.
The history rap.
Yeah.
I can understand why people enjoy it. I can understand why it's enjoyable. And yeah, I agree that I disagree with the critics because they can't just sit down and have a good time with a movie. They have to be able to tear it apart and tell people what is bad and why they should not watch things.
Okay, I'm not trying to get into that. I'm just saying what their griefs were with this. But you could easily, if there was a movie on your favorite person that was supposed to be about their life and it wasn't as historically accurate as it should, you would be a little bit critical on that.
Not true at all.
Okay.
Because the Weird Al movie was a fake biography, and it was the best movie I've seen.
But they said it was going to be a fake biography.
They did not.
Yes, they did. I read all about that.
It's not in the trailers. It's not in any of the advertising.
But they wrote that it wasn't a true...
I get what you're trying to say and I get your angle, but with Weird Al, I think that's a bad example because Weird Al made his life off of parodying, and this was a parody.
It was a parody of biopics.
Yeah, biopics. It was basically Dewey Cox, pretty much, where that was a parody of biopics.
Yes.
My brother killed my brother with a machete, so on and so forth.
By the way, that movie is so good. Walk Hard. It's so good just because of the Beatles scene.
I prefer the Bob Dylan riff, where he's talking about being a little person, and we'll see you in Wizard of Oz too.
I love Paul Rudd as a Beatle. He's just great.
Pretty much it. Paul Rudd. He's great at everything. I love him.
He is. He should be in a musical.
I think he is. No,
I don't think he's a singer.
I have no idea.
Paul Rudd, give us a call. Let's explore it on the podcast.
We got Paul Rudd on line 1.
Suddenly we're live.
Ghostbusters.
That's right.
Suddenly we're live.
Yeah. Only for Paul Rudd will go live.
Exactly.
We will talk to him if he calls in right now.
Am I on? Yeah. Hi, this is Paul. Paul.
That's not how he talks.
No.
All right. Can I get back to the other critics thing? Okay. So yes, they didn't like that watered down. They did not like that they chose to score a period movie to a pop soundtrack. And I say, do you want me to read these?
No, I'm agreeing with you how shitty they are to this.
They had the same grief with Moulin Rouge.
Correct. I was going to get to that.
Shit. Hey, why don't you tell us more? Delete it.
And to a lesser extent, A Knight's Tale.
I don't like that movie. I'm sorry. I'm like one of the only people that don't like that movie. I don't know. I didn't.
Susan Sussman.
God, I went and saw it like 15
Her
times.
name's Shannon.
Shannon Sussman.
So my question is, why not? And what type of music would have done better, if anything? Because it was the best-selling soundtrack of 2018. I mean, what would you have put in there? Like, that's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean...
That's what I'm saying. It's critics are... Yeah. I hate critics. I hate them.
But everybody is a critic in some way. We are critiquing movies right now.
Okay. The difference is we are not critiquing the movies. We are not telling people what they should and should not see. That's the problem with a critic.
Okay. Well, I'm not reading it as that. I'm reading it the problems that they had with it.
Right. But at the end of all of their little articles, they tell you, "Oh, well, this is one star. You should not go see this.
Okay.
You should skip this. Don't go to the theater to see this."
Well, that's not the reason why I'm writing.
I understand. I'm telling you my problem with critics.
Okay.
Well,
we are not critics. We are reviewers.
I mean, I can be pretty critical.
I mean, when you reflect also a film, Idlewild, the Outcast.
The Outcast movie.
Yeah, that's basically an Outcast music video using songs from Speaker Box in Love Below, and a couple other original points. But yeah, they didn't use original, or they didn't use time appropriate music. They used modern day hip hop.
But they did it with ragtime.
Well, yeah, but that's straight up, bow ties from Speaker Box. But anyways, my goal with that was to give supporting data in terms of you're always going to have that in terms of modern day music. I mean, for love of Pete, Les Miserables is not using time appropriate music for Pete's sake.
You're right. That's why when I saw that, and I'm the one who wrote, why not? What type of music would you have chosen? Like, what are you supposed to do?
I was just going to say, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah.
Right.
Aramaic music.
Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, you can have a musical like Hair where you're doing a lot of 60s and 70s stuff. That's fine. But what were you going to do? Like, hello, I'm P.T. Barnum. And not that he's Irish, but... I don't know. Like, what would you do? Like, what kind of music? I could picture like old-timey silent movie music, like an organ player.
Yeah.
What is that
Just
about?
yeah.
Or do. Is that all you're gonna play?
Constant circus music.
And do you want to go? Everybody's running.
Just everybody with megaphones.
Yeah.
Let's go to the circus.
I mean,
having a good time.
I would have turned it off in seconds if it started with that song.
I got a question for you, better answer now.
That sounds horrible. Absolutely horrible.
I've got something in my left pocket for you.
But here's the thing: you have an issue with the music, but you don't have an issue with the lines because they're not speaking in that same tone that you would in 1890s and things to that accordance. It's like, I think this is the bee's knees. Really? Yes, I'm going to give you 15%. I disagree.
And that's how P.T. Barnum should actually talk.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's like he was a showman. He was a shyster. He was bombastic. So he should talk like that. He's like, I like your moxie. I like your spirit. I want you to be like that.
He liked Jenny's gams.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, who doesn't love Jenny's gams? I mean, really.
I wish that I had Jenny's gams.
Wow, wow, wow.
I wish that I had Jenny's gams.
Wow, wow, wow.
So if you had to pick one character, not one character from the circus, who is your favorite character?
Circus.
Oh, I really liked the little guy.
Okay.
Would we call him a little fella?
He was so cute, and he was like, everybody makes fun of me. No one's going to come out and pay me to see me, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'll give you a rifle. I'll give you a gun. Deal. What about you? Who's your favorite?
Oh, man, the bearded lady.
Yeah.
Just because, she really stole the show.
She did.
That actress, and I'm sorry for not knowing her name off the top of my head. Of course, naturally, you could go Zendaya, but going with Zendaya is kind of like picking John Lennon in the Beatles. It's like, no, everyone does that. Come on. George Harrison, that's the bearded lady.
You know who the bearded lady, the actress, I looked her up and I don't recognize her, but you know who she reminds me of? You can put your, did you ever get into Search Party? We told you to watch Search Party.
Search Party, I think so.
On HBO or Max or whatever the hell it's called.
Or Max.
Okay. Picture the main girl from Arrested Development and Search Party.
Right.
A little bit bigger,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, like,
did you watch Arrested Development?
Yes.
What was the girl's
Maybe.
name? Maybe. Picture maybe a little bit older, a little bit bigger, more
or the
grown
female
up.
lead from This Is Us.
No,
the
she
sister.
doesn't look anything like her.
No, I'm just saying that type of where she's.
Oh, you're just talking about putting two plus size
Two
people.
fat people.
I'm talking about the look of maybe. She had the
Oh,
same
yeah.
eyes,
Okay, gotcha,
the same hair.
gotcha.
She reminded
Same
me
beard.
of her. Oh, jeez. She reminded me of her. So
Yeah, I see
Okay,
it. I see it.
I can see that.
she was my favorite character too.
Who was your?
The bearded lady.
Okay.
I mean, she is the leader of the outcasts of the group.
Yeah.
And just her singing that
she has
song.
dimensions. She's multi-dimensional.
Yeah, absolutely. And she struggled. She's like when he came in to see her, she can sing, but she was hiding behind the the curtain, and everybody was making fun of her, and she's like, no, I'm not putting myself out there, and she did anyways, and she's kind of like the ringleader, of that. And even when she saw him and he kind of threw them out of the meeting, he was like, no, you guys don't need to be in here, and closed the door on her. She was just like, I'm not going to take this. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to be ignored. And so I don't know, I liked her. She was my favorite.
I like the big guy too, the tall dude.
The tall guy,
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. So
Now you're Irish.
now you're Irish. I loved that scene when he was meeting them all,
Yeah.
because he never made anyone feel inferior to anybody. He never acted scared, grossed out, nothing. He was
Yep.
just like, put her there, and like, it's just good. So
It was the spirit of the movie.
yep, absolutely. So okay, anything else to say on this movie?
No, ma'am. I think we're good.
Were there any taglines?
Oh, I didn't look that up.
So
It's the bee's
That's
knees,
usually
folks.
your guys' job to come up with. Okay, The Greatest Showman. Taglines. This is me. You know what I noticed, though?
No.
There was not a lot of circus animals in this movie. Other than the
Elephant.
elephant.
and the tigers
Yeah. Oh my.
But
and the giraffes.
oh, there was a giraffe.
Yeah.
But
And they went to their giant house on zebras.
I feel bad because the giraffes really stuck their neck out on this one.
I guess I mean a lot of routines with a lot of animals.
There was no
I guess that's what I
like
meant.
Yeah.
It was all the people.
So when did Bailey come into play?
I don't know.
Usually after you
No.
go through your schnapps.
No. I knew that was coming. I wanted to put the kibosh on it. I thought maybe you knew because you know about why
Mr.
Barnum,
History here.
Barnum is such a bastard. Where
Yeah.
did Bailey come in?
Bailey was I believe you're putting me on the spot here. And
Right, and this is going on the internet.
Yeah.
too.
He's making up something.
2
Was
seconds.
Bailey so when he
Yeah.
left his wife, he went and hooked up with Bailey, and they just kept on going with the
Oh yeah,
circus?
he's taking shots from Bailey. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
I don't know.
That was when he came back from Ireland.
Yeah,
See now you're getting
maybe that was Zac Efron's character. He changed into Bailey.
That's kind of
He changed into like a transformer.
That's another thing I want to talk about real quick that is often in a lot of musicals, and we can kind of go not one of the movies that we're going to go to, not so much, but the other one, yes. Did you find that a lot of modern musicals and even musicals in the past focus on one or two characters that are down on their luck? Something has to change. They're on the wrong side of the track, and they meet somebody who's their exact opposite, who is more like she was, she came from money and blah, blah, blah. And there's always somebody that's like treating them badly, and they're trying to like overcome that. Like that's a common theme.
That's a common trope.
That's a common thing. And is that, I wonder if that's just because you're kind of down in the dumps and you can sing about it.
It's easy to write.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can go down the road. I mean, for the love of Pete, it opens up in one of the other films that we're going to talk about. It opens up with Down in the Dumps.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh man,
But like how her parents were such jerks to him, even after
Yeah.
they're married and had two kids that they hadn't even met, and they were
Yeah.
just like, oh, the what was his dad's occupation? The tailor.
tailor.
Yeah, the tailor's
Always
boy.
be a tailor
Always be
boy.
a tailor. Like he's just jerks. So I don't know.
when they were introduced, I couldn't help but get a Pirates of the Caribbean vibes. Like, yes, Miss One, just
Yeah.
one more time.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's only two taglines. One is
Great Expectations. Sorry. That's what it reminded me of. Great Expectations.
Yeah. It wasn't all I expected it to be.
Anyways, please continue.
The impossible comes true.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst one I've ever heard. Experience the award-winning music. What? First of all, you didn't win any awards. You were nominated, but what does that tell me about the movie?
Well, it didn't win an Oscar. It might have won other awards.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, that had to have been like the second run poster.
Yeah.
Experience.
All right. So
winning musical today.
What was the other tagline?
That was it. There's two.
Okay.
They're coming to America today.
On March 28th, 1881, folks, the Cooper and Bailey Circus became the chief competitor to Barnum's Circus. As Bailey's circus was outperforming his, Barnum sought to merge the circuses. The two groups agreed to combine their shows on March 28th, 1881, folks. Go ahead and smoke a cigar. That is, of course, there you go.
And then we got Dumbo Circus in the early 80s, and All Is Right with the World. Do you remember Dumbo Circus?
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was right up there with Welcome to Pooh Corner.
It was right after Pooh Corner.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
I loved
man,
every minute
that
of
show
it.
stinks. Pooh Corner.
You're stupid. Don't talk about Pooh that way.
Don't talk about when the Disney Channel was actually good in a bad way.
Don't talk about Winnie.
What was
Costume
it? What was it?
characters.
Mousercides.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Come on, everybody. Haha.
Yep. Yep. That's a
just,
thing.
Yeah, I just sound like basically Mickey Mouse from South Park. You screwed me, Marsh. You screwed me bad.
Marge?
Marsh.
Oh, Marsh.
Yeah.
Randy.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Anything else on Greatest Showman?
Greatest Showman.
Alrighty. Well,
Alrighty.
Well,
And click.
we will continue next episode with either my pick or Roman's pick, and we will continue our deep dive into modern musicals.
All right, so that was it. Thanks for tuning in to Cinemadness, the podcast. We will be back next time with our Modern Musicals episode 2. So everybody have a great time next time. I don't know how to take this thing out. So I'm just going to shut up after I say celebrate cinema. Bye.
So tell me if you wanna go.